Hello, season's greetings and a hearty howdy, ho ho ho. I'm Grady Kirkpatrick from Wyoming Public Radio. And in lieu of our holiday open house this year, we've decided to bring you a high country, low country holiday show with Sally and George. We'll be doing that momentarily, but we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour here outside. Of course, many Wyomingites know that the University of Wyoming War Memorial Stadium is the highest in elevation in the country, 7,220 feet. What you might not know is Wyoming Public Radio is the highest, among the highest radio stations in the country. Although we're in the basement, we go about 7210. But we'll go in and check it out. Let's get this holiday show on the road. All right, let's go in and mask up. Okay, we're now entering the basement of Wyoming Public Radio Studios. As you can see, my glasses are clogging up just a little bit, but it'll be okay. Here we have our lovely holiday decorations, the partridge in a pear tree and all the turtle doves here, along with our holiday decorations here. I'd mentioned we're among the highest radio stations in the country, elevation-wise. Get that mask up. We're also the third largest network geographically, covering nearly 90% of the state, along with our border states, and of course worldwide on WyomingPublicMedia.org. And that is thanks to our many members. We're very grateful. As you can see, our business and corporate supporters, along with our leadership circle members and all our members. Go down to main control. Quick look at the CD library. LPs as well, albums. And let's head on into the main control room. Let me get a look at the map too. Love the map of Wyoming with all our transmitters around the state, various locations. Again, the third largest network in the country. Here, our wall of awards from the Wyoming Public Radio News Department, including many Edward R. Murrow Awards, among the most prestigious awards in journalism. And in the main control room.
6 weeks after the US election, the most senior Republican in Congress, the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, has for the first time publicly acknowledged that Joe Biden will be the next president.
Here's where we bring you Wyoming Sounds in the morning edition. Afternoons with Pat Gabriel and All Things Considered in the afternoon. Here's our squirrel-powered turntable we still use. Also our CD players and our digital recorders and playback system. All right, let's go to Studio C. Getting ready for the show, heading down to Studio C as we move past some of our other studios. Room A, Pat Gabriel.
Happy holidays!
Yes, and say hello to Cindy Elrod.
Happy holidays to all!
Yes, thank you, Cindy. And here is Studio C. Thanks to our great engineers, Wade R., Paul Montoya, and Ben Slater for putting the studios together, the newly remodeled Studio C, as we get ready to go to the Low Country with Sally and George on a high country, low country holiday here on Wyoming Public Radio. Welcome to a high country, low country holiday with Sally and George on Wyoming Public Radio. You can see the video stream online now at WyomingPublicMedia.org. I'm Grady Kirkpatrick. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. We're very excited to welcome our guests, Sally and George. Named after Shelby's grandparents, Shelby means from Laramie, Wyoming, and former member of the Grammy-nominated bluegrass band Della Mae, and Joel Timmons from Charleston, South Carolina, formerly with roots rock band Soul Driven Train. Welcome, welcome, Shelby and Joel. Great to see you.
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
Gotta say, formerly and currently with Soul Driven Train. Joel's going to be playing a show with them tonight. Later tonight.
That is awesome. Glad to hear it. We've really been enjoying songs from the new album, Take You on a Ride, released earlier this year. And what a year it's been. You're now in the Low Country in Joel's hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, following what's been a bit of a nomadic year due to COVID, spending summertime here in Wyoming. Tell us about the year that was for Sally and George.
It has been a nomadic year, but funny, less traveling than what we anticipated 2020 to look like. You know, we had a trip to the UK planned and a couple coast to coast domestic tours and an Australia trip planned. And we were down in the Virgin Islands about to start our annual tour down there in March when, you know, our tour dates started canceling one by one. And then it became pretty clear that it was not going to be a year like we saw, like we expected. So we ended up changing our flights and staying down in the U.S. Virgin Islands for like about an extra 2 months.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was. Good. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Yeah. I mean, we kind of realized like, well, you know, and information kept changing on a daily basis in those early days of the pandemic. You know, as far as like the risk of getting on a plane and all that kind of stuff. So we were trying to process that information and calculate risks, and it was pretty hard to imagine leaving a perfectly safe tropical island for to return to, you know, America, kind of like it just seeming like not the safe place that it was when we left. You know?
Yeah, Clorox wipes.
Yeah,
it was crazy in the beginning.
Understood. But you ended up eventually in Wyoming, right?
Yep. Yeah,
we did. Yeah, thankfully we stopped in Nashville for about a month and put our stuff in storage. We decided to cut our expenses as much as we could, so we loaded up the van and headed to Wyoming to basically kind of camp out at my parents' house. They live north of Laramie, and that was amazing. As I grew up in Wyoming, so I know the time of the year that I like to spend a lot of time in Wyoming, driving around.
Nothing like
safely.
Summertime. Nothing like summertime in Wyoming, right?
It was fantastic. That was the first time. I mean, I've visited for years, but that was the first time I've gotten to really dig in and spend a few months in Wyoming in the summertime, and that was fantastic.
We got snowstorms and summer and mosquitoes, you know, so all bundled into one.
Yeah, that's the full experience, no doubt. And Joel, we first met here at Wyoming Public Radio as you were touring with Soul Driven Train, and we've known our Wyoming homegirl Shelby for a while, playing bass and singing with Della Mae. You both met at a festival in Bristol, Tennessee, along the Virginia border, considered the birthplace of country music, where the Carter family and Jimmy Rogers recorded. And then you were married at one of our fine state parks here in Wyoming, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Kurt Gowdy. We were married 3.5 years ago.
Wonderful. Joel, enlighten us about the Low Country and where you are right now.
So where we are right now, we're beachfront on Folly Beach, which is in Charleston County, but it's actually its own geographical and political entity. Folly Beach. We're right at a place called the Washout, which there used to be an inlet sort of at this part of the island, and there's a big hurricane, it tends to wash out, as they say. And every few years, the Army Corps of Engineers hires somebody to dump a bunch of sand up here to preserve these sorts of houses like we're on right now. But it is the premier surfing location in South Carolina. You can't tell it today. It's micro out there.
It's pretty glassy, you know?
Yeah, good favorable winds today, but just not enough swell. But this is a place that I've spent a lot of hours here on this stretch of coast.
Great location. I see the Kettle Grill in the back.
Yeah. That's one thing that, you know, I've with the pandemic that, like, you know, we've had to take our live music outdoors. Has been the safe way of doing it, you know, and we were fortunate to have shows in Pinedale and got to ride on a flatbed truck through Laramie, you know, and play gigs in Wyoming. Yeah. But the outdoor shows have kind of dried up for us this time of the year in the Mountain West. but we have been playing a few outdoor shows here since we've been back in the Low Country,
That's
and
great.
like we're doing today, being
Well,
outside.
we'll talk about the new record, and why don't we get into a tune? We have more high country, low country connections, but you have some songs you're going to play for us today.
Yeah, we'd like to start with the first song off the album. It's called Fish for Free.
Sally and George in the High Country, Low Country Holiday here on Wyoming Public Radio.
I heard about the calamity. Your daddy couldn't deal with reality. He put too much medicine in his veins. Oh, what a crying shame. So leave me your number and maybe I'll call. Step away from the curtain, you face the wall. Oh, and it seems like everything's black in your head. I'll be there to catch you when you fall. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh. My brother in NYC, he could make the whole city sleep. Unlike all of the people's dreams, with the strum of his mandolin strings. So the wheels turn on the big machine. Yeah, we keep on using gasoline. Take more, make more, wind up with less. Oh, it's such a beautiful mess. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh. If you're hungry, come and work for your feet. We don't give away fish for free, no. If you're happy, clap your hands and sing. We'll take you on a ride, get low, get high. Everything ends, my friend. Everything ends, my friend. Everything ends, my friend. You know everything is my friend. Eventually.
All right, Fish for Free, Sally and George, part of the High Country, Low Country Holiday here on Wyoming Sounds. How about another tune? Let's just keep rolling.
Sure thing. We got a Christmas song for you, an original that Joel and I wrote a couple years ago. This one's called No Vacancy. Mary, 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 have you heard the news? Angel Gabriel's got a message for you. He said you're gonna give birth to the King of the Jews. Mary, 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 have you heard the news? Mary, 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 with your big belly.
had to go by Caesar's decree. Climbed up the mountain from Galilee, up the dusty road on the back of a donkey. On Christmas Day, no vacancy. Streets were crowded in Bethlehem. Keeper said there's no room at the inn. Why don't you go around back? There's a stable outside. Little baby Jesus was about to arrive. On Christmas Day, no vacancy. To a son so dear, your faith is strong, you will persevere, 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 persevere. Oh, Mary, 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 have you heard the news? Mary, Mary, have you heard the news? The angel Gabriel's got a message for you. He's got a message. He said you're gonna give birth to the King of the Jews. To the King of the Jews. Mary, 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 have you heard the news? No vacancy. It's Christmas Day, and there's no vacancy. Jesus was born like a refugee. Jesus was born like a refugee. Jesus was born like a refugee. Jesus was born like a refugee.
All right, No Vacancy. That's a Sally and George original Christmas song. That is some mighty fine picking and plucking there, Joel and Shelby. When did you
Thanks a
write
lot.
that?
Actually, we wrote that on a beach a couple of years ago. Imagine that, on a beach.
Very nice.
Down in
Very
Pensacola,
nice.
Florida.
Oh, is that, okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't. Yeah,
It's
someone had given Shelby an assignment to write a Christmas song.
Okay.
And she liked the idea of coming from Mary's perspective.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jewish. I celebrate Hanukkah and didn't know a lot about the Christmas story. And I was just curious about why Mary had to leave her home to go give birth to a baby. So had to do a little research on that one.
She was like, a donkey?
Outstanding. It's a high country, low country holiday here on Wyoming Sounds with Sally and George. I'm Grady Kirkpatrick. Again, you can check the video, the beautiful location in the low country, just off Folly Beach in South Carolina. And we talked about you spent last summer here in Laramie and now in South Carolina. Shelby Means, you're from Wyoming, and you want to give a shout out to the folks back home?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. My brother and his wife are there too. And a lot of my musical mentors. I grew up, actually, my first appearance on Wyoming Public Radio was with the Big Hollow Bluegrass Band.
Very cool. Yeah. And when did you actually first start playing, Shelby?
I picked up the bass when I was 14, but my dad plays the banjo and always, gave me a fiddle when I turned 5. And from that, I kind of moved up to larger instruments and finally settled on the bass at 14, but started singing at a young age too.
Wow. Very cool. What led you to joining the group Delamay?
Well, it's cool. There's a Western connection. My friend Courtney Hartman we sort of grew up going to bluegrass festivals and different contests and things like that around Wyoming and Colorado when we were younger. And then eventually I moved to Nashville about 11 years ago, and Courtney moved to Boston to go study music there at Berkeley. And that's where she met Della Mae, which is the all-girl bluegrass band. And she joined the band, and then we ran into each other at International Bluegrass Music Association conference one year, and just kind of rekindled our friendship from our younger years. And then I guess Della Mae's bass player was going to leave, and she contacted me about joining Della Mae.
Wow. Great story. And of course, Grammy nominated band. That had to have been exciting.
Yeah, that was my first recording project with the band. We went to the Cash Cabin studio, which
Wow.
Johnny Cash and June Carter recorded in. It was so vibey, and Brian Sutton was the producer for that album. So
Wonderful.
it was a great experience for me.
Did
We
you
got to actually play a song. I sang a song written by Bill McKay, who's a local Laramie hero there.
right?
The last song on the album is called Some Roads Lead On, and yeah, that was amazing to get to sing that in Cash Cabin studio with Courtney playing June Carter's guitar.
Wow. Wow, boy.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Tell us about Sally and George, your grandparents. Did you get to know them when you were younger? Or?
I didn't really. I knew George, but Grandma Sally passed away before I was born. She passed away the year that my mom and dad got married in 1980. So I never got to meet her, but thankfully my mom kept a pretty good record of, pictures and different hand-me-downs and family heirlooms and things like that have sort of allowed me to get to know her throughout. I feel like throughout the years that I haven't known her in person, but yeah. So my grandpa lived to be pretty old. He passed away from old age, and when he passed, he lived in Colorado, and my mom went down to clean out his house. They were going to sell it, and she brought back a lot of clothes, hats. I'm wearing a George hat right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
And boots and dishes, of course, and different things like that. But he'd saved everything, and she brought back the clothes and bolo ties, and Joel and I were trying them on, and eventually we sort of adopted the name Sally and George, because we recorded our first album in Laramie around that same time when we were getting the clothes and the boots, and I think in the studio we were wearing some Sally and George articles of clothing, so it felt like they were almost there with us. Their spirits were there with us. So eventually the band became Sally and George.
That's great. Della Mae's a pretty traditional bluegrass sound, and Soul Driven Train, not so much. So it was really interesting to hear the styles blend on your last record, and even more on the new one, Take You on a Ride, much of it recorded at Thunderground Sounds in Laramie with Dan Tinker. It really has a nice variety of sound, and I understand you wanted to expand both lyrically and with melodies. How did that process kind of get started and then evolve with the new songs?
I guess the songwriting process kind of started, as we were, going through Tip My Heart, putting it out. We were already beginning to write new songs, and then I think lots and lots of live performance occurred, between that record cycle and we got back in the studio with Dan again. So we had the idea of incorporating more percussion into it, to give ourselves as big of a dynamic range as we can accomplish with two people. But also we kind of made the decision of like, okay, well, let's not limit ourselves to production choices that we can only pull off live, So we played a lot live in the studio, often started with an instrumental, did the guitar and the bass first, or bass and drums, and then we would sing live together. So there was like those moments of collaboration, but then we, sent it off to our friends and added string sections on songs and horn sections, and let the songs kind of dictate where the production was going to go after those initial sessions. And yeah, I think it was really fun. It was a little bit more of a Soul Driven Train approach, I guess, to production.
Well, it
Where
works.
there's not really any genre rules as far as what instruments are allowed and what type of songs. You know?
Sure. That's great. Well, the lyrical content addresses issues of our times like climate change and racial violence. One of the album's most powerful songs, Repeating Song, was written by you, Shelby, and Brother Jacob after the
Yes.
Charleston Emmanuel Church shooting in 2015. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a
That
song.
yeah, sometimes the songs, I don't know, for me, sometimes I have to sit there and really force a song out, and other times they just kind of fall out pretty easily. And that one came out in like a poem form for me, and my brother wrote the melody, so we collaborated on that, and it
Well,
happened.
we'll get to
probably in
hear
an
that
hour.
today, right?
Yeah, we're gonna play that.
All right,
That
and
song.
another holiday tune.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Sally
Yeah,
and George, part of the High Country, Low Country holiday here on Wyoming Sounds.
So this is Christmas. What have you done? Another year over, new one just begun.
So this is Christmas. I hope you have fun. The near and the dear ones, the old and the young.
A very Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
Let's hope it's a good one, without any fear. So this is Christmas, weekend for strong, rich and the poor one. The world is so wrong.
And so happy Christmas for black and for white, yellow and red ones. Let's stop all the fight. Very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one, without any fear.
So this is Christmas. What have you done? Another year over, new one just begun.
And so this is Christmas. I hope you have fun. Dear and the dear ones, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
Let's hope it's a good one, without any fear.
War is over if you want it. War is over now. War is over if you want it. War is over now.
Happy Christmas, Sally and George. John and Yoko, I think, would love that version.
Thank you. Love that song. And we'll play the repeating song now, as we spoke about a little bit earlier. beating. One summer's evening, a poet's pleading, words worth repeating, capture my needing, my body breathing. I go on reading, words worth repeating, damn the defeating, my heart is bleeding, I swear I'm dreaming, people are screaming, strange fruit still swinging, what is the meaning? In the golden light on high, open up the ancient eye. Every person, every place, knowing, open, loving space. These words I'm reading teach me of healing. Your ears are listening. Let's stop repeating.
Repeating song from Sally and George on a high country, low country holiday here on Wyoming Sounds. From Charleston, South Carolina, with the waves coming in. That was beautiful. Thank you.
It's really our pleasure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Joel, are there any low country holiday traditions in South Carolina that you enjoy this time of year, whether it's food or activities, something that you remember as a kid?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think probably my favorite low country wintertime holiday tradition is the oyster roasts. There's really great salty oysters in the inshore rivers here in the intertidal zone. You can get them pretty cheap, and it's a big social event where the oysters here will grow sort of in fingers and clusters, not like the pretty singles often that you see in restaurants, but you can get them by the bushel and typically steam them, dump them out on a big table in the backyard, and then everybody crowds around and goes to town.
Wow.
And it's not happening this year really in the crowd around sort of thing, but we have cooked a few oysters under socially distant circumstances and taken them down.
Did you take to the taste of the oysters as a youngin?
Oh, I loved them. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's taken some convincing to get Shelby on board, but she's coming along. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to dip them in butter, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, butter always helps, no doubt.
Yeah,
and Shelby, are you missing the snow in Wyoming and any traditions this season?
Yeah, I do love the snow so much. If it's going to be cold, it might as well be snowy.
That's right. We luckily we have some. We haven't had a whole lot this year, but there's snow on the ground.
Well, thankfully this year my family, everything has been really digitalized. So I've been celebrating Hanukkah on Zoom with my parents every night. So that's pretty
Oh,
nice
that's
actually that we
great.
get to do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. One small world Wyoming Caribbean connection happened with Joel, I believe, in St. Thomas on the Virgin Islands. It was either early this year or late last year while you were getting coffee, and the local barista recognized your Wyoming Public Radio mug.
Yeah, well, I had like my, my insulated mug, and I had that bright red Wyoming Public Radio sticker on the front of it, and I was having her put probably ice cream and coffee at the same time, if I recall. And she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, Wyoming Public Radio, wow, yeah, my dad works there." I said, "Oh, yeah, who's your dad?" She said, "Grady."
Yeah.
That was something. Yeah,
That's
I think we
our,
were about to catch a ferry over to Water Island, this little artist compound over there. Yeah, it's a funny little world down there.
That's our University of Wyoming cowgirl graduate that ended up on the Virgin Islands. Imagine that.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get to visit. Maybe next year. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's worth it.
We know it's certainly been a rough year, and we'd like to express our gratitude for frontline workers and first responders, and definitely for artists and musicians like Shelby and Joel who inspire and lift us up when times are tough. It's also important to support artists. Folks can get a copy of the new album and some very cool Sally and George apparel for last minute shopping, right, for the season. I also saw earrings and necklaces on the website. So that's sallyandgeorge.com, right?
That's right. Yes. We would love it if you check it out. I'm not supposed to say that.
That was actually well worded.
Oh, okay. Good.
And I also wanted to ask, where was the picture taken, and where did that wild-looking Jeep come from that's on the album cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was down Roger Canyon Road, just off Roger Canyon Road. Yeah, and that Jeep has been in Shelby's family for quite a while. It was her dad's uncle's Jeep, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And then Rory learned to drive on that thing, and he said in all of its years it's never had brakes until this summer. And Rory put brakes in it. I was the guy that heard, he said push the brake pedal. I pushed it, and he was bleeding him out, and got that thing running. It was already running, but now stopping and going on command.
Well, that's important.
Generally,
The stopping part is important.
Yeah, and we just, I don't know, it was sort of a great symbol for that nomadic touring lifestyle that we used to live, and I love the image with the bass on top. We did drive it a little bit, but not on the highway like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Joel did put his boogie board underneath the bass, so it was a little bit high country, low country there too.
I got it. The boogie board, the bass, and the vintage Jeep. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got time for a couple of more songs, and we'll wrap up with Sally and George on a high country, low country holiday here on Wyoming Public Radio.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate what you said about the frontline workers. I know that there has been a lot of loss this year, of life and ways of life. And here's a song about loss. It's called Sally's Gone.
Space aches where you used to lay. My voice shakes when I say your name. Sally, 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 she's gone. The time grinds each of us down, then slips away without a sound. Oh, Sally, 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 she's gone. I don't wanna have to live two separate lives. It's clear to me that you and I should be side by side. You can come here I can go there, I don't care. Oh, I don't wanna have to live two separate lives. It's clear to me that you and I should be side by side. You can come here, or I can go there. I don't care. I don't care anymore. 'Cause life is short and true love is rare. Once it's shattered, it can't be repaired. Oh, Sally, 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 she's gone. Oh, Sally, 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 she's gone.
Sally and George, and Sally's gone. High Country, Low Country Holiday here on Wyoming Public Radio. We have time for one more.
Since we're here beachfront, I think we should play Fave Wave.
Yeah.
It's the surfiest song on our new album.
Joel, do you have your wetsuit on under that red jumper?
I was out yesterday. It was a little bit bigger, and I was out there in the 4-3 wetsuit. We were lucky to have a mild November, and lots of good days of surf. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go out this evening, but maybe.
But thank you, Grady and Wyoming Sounds, Wyoming Public Radio, for having us and supporting Sally and George and independent musicians. Thanks to Wari and Sherry for housing us, and thanks to Andy for this deck.
Yeah, and Ashley Ann. 2, 3, 4. She's a beauty in the morning when the sun first lights her face. I see her swells are rolling smooth and slow. I feel my spirit lift as I stand upon her cliff, watching the breakers below. I can't deny it, I wanna ride it. She's a raging tempest when the winds are from the north. In an hour she can be as smooth as glass. She'll pin you to the bottom, hold you down until you drown, or she'll open up her gates and let you pass. I can't deny it, I wanna ride it every single day. I can't deny it, I wanna ride it every single day, every single day. When I was young, I'd run around up and down the coast, always trying to find a better way. Years have passed, I've come to grasp the sense in slowing down. I'm so glad I finally found my fave. I can't deny it, I wanna ride it every single day, every single day. My fave wave, she's my fave, she's my fave.
My favorite,
She's my fave, fave, fave.
my favorite.
She's my fave, she's my
Starting the fave waves there, Sally and George, on a high country, low country holiday here on Wyoming Public Radio. Thanks so much, Shelby and Joel. That was awesome. Very
Thank
cool.
you, Grady.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we'll have this posted on our website if you want to share it with friends throughout the holidays on wyomingpublicmedia.org, also wyomingsounds.org. You've been listening to A High Country, Low Country Holiday with Sally and George on Wyoming Public Radio. I'm Grady Kirkpatrick with big thanks again to Shelby and Joel, sound engineers Wade Ayer and Ben Slater, video producer Paul Montoya, and Chet Lewis, our web manager Anna Rader, and executive producer Christina Kuzmich. Thanks also to our friends and supporters in the high and low country, and happy holidays. We look forward to a better year in 2021. Thanks.